Hello, this is an introduction to the main points on the syllabus for the Chemistry 1211 lab course. Uh, let's get started. What you'll need for the course, as far as materials, you'll need a lab manual from the university store. You'll need a non-graphing scientific calculator. You'll need access to a computer with a graphing program, preferably Excel. And you'll need a bound composition notebook to use for a lab notebook. We'll talk about that a little more in a minute. One of the first component I want to talk about for the course are the online quizzes. Those are 10% of your final grade. You can find them online on the D2L website under the quizzes tab. The quiz opens a week before each lab period, and it closes at midnight the day before the lab period. So if your lab is on Tuesday, the quiz for that particular lab will close midnight Monday. The quizzes for the first few labs will be open longer, but after that, they will close at midnight the day before the lab period. The two lowest quiz grades are dropped, and once the quizzes are closed, they're not reopened. Worksheets. Some labs will have worksheets as part of the lab learning experience. Collectively, they're 10% of your final grade. These are either due in class, we'll do them completely in class, or the week following. And none of the worksheets will be dropped. Lab report submissions, the biggest component of your grade, 45% of the final grade. They are due at the beginning of class the next Tuesday after lab. Because we're in summer session, we have 2 labs per week. So each Tuesday, the labs from the previous Tuesday and the previous Thursday will be due. If you are in class Tuesday, your lab reports are in class, should be in class with you and passed in. The lowest lab report is dropped. So if you are ill and miss a face-to-face lab, that is going to count as your dropped lab. There will be a submission box open on D2L to submit lab reports on days when you're absent because you're sick or because you cannot get to lab for some reason. Now, there's some rules concerning lab reports. Departmental policy is no late lab reports will be accepted. And lab reports should be done independently. These are not a group project, and they are not done with your partner. You gather data with your partner, but the lab report itself is done independently, your own work. And in the case of copying of lab reports, which does happen sometimes, both the copier and the giver of the copy will be penalized. Laboratory notebooks. These are 10% of your final grade, and they will be completed before lab. You will have a pre-lab write-up. There's a template on D2L, and I'm going to post a PowerPoint about how to do the setup on the laboratory notebook. I will check and grade your pre-lab at the beginning of lab, and I will check to see that your data is in your notebook at the end of the lab period. You will gather your data and record it in your notebook, not in your lab manual. Notebooks will not be collected at the end of the semester. I will be grading them as we move through the semester. And instructor evaluation grade, it's 5% of your final grade. It's based on my observation of your behavior in lab, of your lab safety rules, preparation for lab, and participation. This is basically the don't be stupid grade. Don't do dangerous or harmful things in lab, and don't sit around and let your lab partner do all the work. Either of those will have a bad effect on your instructor evaluation grade. And lastly, the final exam. It's 20% of your final grade, so it's a big chunk. It's comprehensive. It includes everything that we've covered in class. It's multiple choice. We do it by Scantron, and no notebooks or equation sheets will be permitted. Well, let's talk also about laboratory safety policies. We'll be working potentially with things that can be potentially harmful or poisonous or very bad for you if you get them in your eyes. So, dress code. No bare skin should be visible below your neck except for your arms and hands. So, no sandals, shorts, short skirts, no-show socks, or athletic shirts, sleeveless shirts should be worn in lab. No garments that facilitate chemical transfer. That means if you spill chemicals on yourself, it goes through easily. So no jeans with holes or rips, no skin-tight leggings or jeggings. If you wear contact lenses and you have prescription glasses, wear your prescription glasses in lab in preference to contacts. And lab glasses, protective glasses, should be worn at all times in lab. We will give you a pair of lab glasses when you get to lab. You should keep them all semester and bring them to every lab and wear them all the time in lab. Even if you are not personally working with chemicals, if anybody in the room is still working with chemicals, you should be wearing lab glasses. No eating, drinking, chewing gum in lab for obvious reasons. All water bottles should be safely stowed away in a backpack or bag. Tie back any long hair. Don't wear any dangling jewelry or clothing that could get into something you're working in. Don't take any chemicals or glassware from lab. And if you have to go leave lab to use the restroom, remove your gloves and wash hands before leaving. Okay, that's a basic overview. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I will not be around reliable internet for a while, for about the next week. But if I am, I will answer any questions that I can. And thank you for listening.